I'm here with James Gurd, the digital juggler himself.
Hey, how you doing, Justin?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Did you?
Always a pleasure. He's agreed to do the Jar of Destiny. Before we do that, tell us a bit about Digital Juggler. Tell us about what you guys are doing. Tell us a little bit about your re-platform podcast as well. What's coming up on that?
Okay, I'll keep it short and sweet so people don't get bored. Digital Juggler is an e-commerce consultancy focusing in e-commerce strategy and re-platforming. And Replatform was a podcast I spun out of that with a fellow consultant, Paul Rogers, just to focus on e-commerce technology, replatforming projects, selection of technology, use of technology for customer experience, because we saw a gap in the market for podcast. So we've interviewed some very cool people in the industry, such as yourself. You've come on.
I have.
Yeah, so please do tune in.
It really is interesting. There's some really, especially if you are doing what it says on the can, i.e. replatforming, it really can give you some really good insights into what's interesting, what's happening,
I hope so.
What's sensible in the marketplace.
Oh no, I can't guarantee sensible, but it's definitely got information.
Right, the jar.
What am I doing?
So, just dig deep, pull out a question, read out the question, because otherwise we don't know what you're answering.
Okay.
And I know what the questions are in case you want to make it up as you go along.
What is the best piece of business advice you've ever been given? Oh my word, now that is one hell of a question to be put on the spot on.
It is, yeah.
So I think the best one was when I was agency side and I wasn't enjoying it. I was in the wrong agency basically, and I never enjoyed my role. And I didn't know what to do. This is when I basically went solo, mainly because I had my contract terminated because we had a difference of opinion. So I had to think what to do. And I reached out to someone I knew who was a consultant who I really valued their knowledge and experience. And one thing he said to me was, don't do anything you're not passionate about, because you'll give up in a few years anyway and you'll get back to the same point you're at. And I think that's fundamentally true. All jobs have bad points. You have days you don't enjoy, you have days you love, but if you're passionate about it, it gets you through the bad times, and don't lose sight of why you did it in the first place. So that was really good advice.
That's you can't go wrong with that one. I think passion is always is the key to success, if you like. They say, if you do something you love, you never have to get at work, right?
Well, I think that's the thing, is even if you've got a day where it's a bit tedious, knowing that you're doing it for a reason and not losing sight of that, and I think that really helps you to make the right decisions. Don't lose sight of why you're doing it, so you don't compromise those values that you set out. Because one of the things I found when I worked for business is I had to be part of someone else's values, which is not a bad thing, but I never felt like I could influence the values the way I wanted to.
The way you wanted to.
So I've got to not lose sight of the ones that I want to push forward.
So I'm going to ask you a supplementary question, if I may, which I know is extra.
It's going to cost you on a meter.
The supplementary question is this, and it's about your Replatform podcast. Obviously, you've done lots of interesting people, lots of interesting topics, and of course, perhaps the most interesting one was the one I was on.
100%,
one of the two I was on,
definitely.
in fact. But no, apart from that one, of course, if you had to recommend anyone to go and watch just one of your Replatform podcasts, which one would it really be? Or a couple, you can do two if you like.
That is a really tricky one.
Because obviously there are some days some weeks that it's absolutely knock out the park. Amazing, and sometimes it's just good.
It's really hard because I think the ones that I love are not going to be the ones that most people would go, oh, that sounds interesting, because they're quite niche. So the one we did with Nick from Oka on ERP integration, he's just a really good speaker. He's very self-deprecating, and he doesn't do lots of public speaking, so it was great to get him on the podcast. And Oka's a cool brand, he's got tons of experience. That was really good.
Check that one out.
I find the ones with the ones around integrations, and we've done a few, can't off the top of my head, I'm having hundreds of episodes name blanking. The other one recently that was really from a personal selfish point of view was the episode we did with Martin Jensen from Centra. We were talking about them at the event they ran. I really like Centra. I think they're a cool platform that's going to get more traction in the UK, and